Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor, and the host of the Webtalk Legends Podcast. This is number 16 on the year. My goal is to do at least one a week, and I am, I think, ahead of the game right now. And it's something I'm going to, pick it up a little bit, but it's all about providing value, sharing your story. Those in Webtalk, it's time to get over that fear, get in front of the camera, share what you do, who you are, who and what you're about, so that others can learn from you, gain some knowledge, and then do business with you. When they know, like, and trust you, they will definitely come back when it's time for whatever product and service that you sell. So I want you to sit back, enjoy, and I want to bring on my next guest. I've known him for a while now. Stan Sher, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. We
For having
are going to have some fun, drop some knowledge, and educate others. This is a worldwide platform. So there's people going to be popping in all over the place. I know the CEO, Scott Gerard of Webtalk Legends, he'll be here. A variety of people, the Webtalk Legends in general. And we're going to just get to know and go deep in who Stan Sher is. Before we even get into it, can you share with us who you are and what you do?
So, as you know, my name is Stan Sher. I guess I like to call myself an entrepreneur. I do a couple of different things. Life has brought me the opportunity to be able to do a couple of different things. I've always learned in life that anything that you do can become an experience, and I focus on trying to turn them into profitable experiences. So, first and foremost, I'm a sales trainer and marketing consultant. I specialize in the automotive industry. I've been in the automotive industry for 19 and a half years, and I've had my first company, Dealer E-Training, for over 12 years, where I've been public speaking, training, consulting, car dealerships, and automotive suppliers for all these years. And then, of course, from that, I ended up for a couple of years having my own social media advertising agency called Social Share. And then a couple of years ago, I started a credit repair firm just because I needed to repair my own credit, and somebody gave me the idea and kind of started as a side hustle. And we have a little business going on with that. And, it actually prompted me to also write a book. I wrote a book, actually have it right here. It's called Social Shares, The Skills That Pay the Bills. I released it back in October. And I basically get to talk about my life and where I came from, where I am, and where I'm going. So I'm kind of excited to share that as well.
No, that's awesome. You have a lot of, it seems like a lot of variety of content we're going to talk about, because one thing you shared, Stan Share, is public speaking. A lot of people have a fear of getting in front of people and speaking and giving information, giving content. What made you get started with doing that?
So I started doing more social media in 2009. So I spent a couple of years in automotive retail, and I wanted to get out of it to do other things. And I started working for a training and consulting company before I started my own. And so I was forced into getting in front of a camera. And back then I was afraid. Like right now, you see me talk, I'm not afraid. It doesn't matter how I'm dressed, whether it be in a shirt or in a suit. I'm just not afraid to talk. I can engage. Back then, I was afraid. I would get in front of a camera and I would take 100 different takes. I would keep messing up. And one of my mentors early on at that time had told me, you need to go to Toastmasters. So I actually joined Toastmasters, and I actually was going every Monday night for about a year. And I did the whole, 10 speeches to become a competent communicator. I didn't have time to move on to the other levels of it, but that got me the confidence. And then later on down the road, I started public speaking at automotive conferences, and I wasn't that good. I found like I actually wasn't invited back to a couple of places because I wasn't that great at it. And it took me time as I developed content and started to learn more about instructional design and get a little more creative with my content. But the real confidence to me came, I would say, more like 6 years ago when I started doing social media for car dealerships. Had a business partner. We were going out to car dealerships and doing videos about cars. He was a big car guy, and I'm a big car guy, and I actually know a little bit about cars, having sold them and having bought new cars every 2 years. So got to the point where it became real easy. We just kept making videos after videos. I would go to his home studio and we would do like 100 different videos. So we have 3 months worth of content. And that's where the confidence started to come through. And nowadays, when I speak, I'm not afraid. I just get up there. I don't even practice. I just create my presentation. And I just go up and I do it.
The more you do things, and I know Deanna just said it too, practice makes perfect. The more you get in front of the camera, more that you get onto a stage, more that you get into a room, yeah, you might mess up, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to become, the more competent, because you're learning as you're presenting, and then you become confident. And that takes some time, but it's something that a lot of people, I can't do it. I'm going to wait until I lose some weight, or I don't like the way I sound, or what I look like. People need to know that you're real. That's the important thing. And the 10, you said 10 speeches that you had with Toastmasters. Yes. What was one or two that you did back then? What was like a topic or content that you discussed?
I did one about guitars. People know I love guitars. They made you do a different speech, and I don't remember the names of all, but there was a different type of speech where like some people would demonstrate cooking. I was demonstrating a guitar. I actually did one in my field of automotive. I did one on marketing, and you had speeches that were 5 minutes long. You had speeches that were 15 minutes long. We also had a little thing called table topics, where you just randomly come up on stage and do a quick 1 to 2 minute speech, just out of the blue. It was interesting. What was nice about it is I made some good friends, because it's not just about learning how to public speak. I mean, you're in a group of people. It's almost like a gym for public speaking, right? You're in a group with a bunch of like-minded professionals from all walks of life, and they're all fairly successful in their careers. I mean, I had scientists, I had pharmaceutical reps, I had door-to-door salespeople there. I had a person that worked at a men's warehouse. And so what was cool about that was you get to become friends with people. They sit down, you give them your book, they critique you and judge you in a positive way on what you're doing great and what you're doing not so great. And you get to learn from them, and then you get to watch them speak. And not only are you becoming better at speaking, but you're building a network. They always say your network is your net worth. And that's true. I mean, I got to meet some really fascinating people. I had authors in there as well.
You never know the room that you're in, who is going to help you get to the next level. It might be a lot of people go into a room and they sell instead of actually sitting there, getting to know them. You just said a guitar you did a speech on because you love it. It's a passion. Mm-hmm. I've seen videos you've been doing. What got you into music?
I would say my family. I came from Ukraine. I was born in Kiev, and my father was a drummer. That was a part-time job for him. My mom was a music teacher, and I got into guitar. Where we were here in the States already. I was like 12 years old and I started playing guitar. But I mean, I was always into music. I always talk about how when I was 3 years old, this is something my parents used to tell me. When I was 3 years old, I would get up out of bed and I would go put music on, put my headphones on. And I remember I was rocking out to Led Zeppelin 4. Like Black Dog was my favorite song. The Ocean was another one of my favorite songs. I was into that from that early age. And around 12, I really got into playing guitar. I would buy, I remember buying the Woodstock VHS tape. I was constantly enjoying the different performances, or Led Zeppelin, the song remains the same. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be like Jimmy Page. And the next thing you know, I got an acoustic guitar. And every day before I would go to school for a half hour, I would sit there with the video trying to imitate and learn. And nowadays, I mean, you can't see it, but behind me, I have like 13 guitars.
13. Yeah. Now, with the guitar, there's a lot of steps. You can't just start the guitar today, right? It's going to take you a little bit of time to really not master it, but at least not make a fool out of yourself.
So interestingly enough, I had my father buy me 2 VHS tapes that taught the bare bone basics. I learned them, but I was like, okay, great. I know a couple things. But I started to get around like age 14, I started to get more into hard rock and heavy metal. And there was an ad for a program called Metal Method. This gentleman, Doug Marks, teaches it. And it was basically from level 1 to level 6. Level 6, you could be a pro. After level 1, you could at least play in a band. So I had my parents buy me this thing for like $69. And I had these VHS tapes. And I studied levels 1 through 3. And then like most things in life, I didn't get a chance to really truly finish studying this stuff. I started to pick up on it by listening to music. I learned enough to be slightly deadly, but then I just would listen to music and I would be pick up on it. Then I would go and I would watch level 4, level 5, like, aha, that's what it is. All right, I already know how to do this. It was kind of interesting.
No, that's something like music to me. It's funny. I was a jock. My wife was into she's grew up in the band,
Hmm.
in the marching band. And when I first started dating her, we were at an event and she was playing, and we ended up going to the band room. And I'm like, this is weird to me because I'm always in the locker rooms for sports. I'm in the
Yep.
band room now, so it was a whole full circle. Like what?
Yep.
It's a phenomenal thing, and I think the skills you have playing music, doing sports, it goes hand in hand with business. And writing a book, is a difficult thing because there's
Oh,
no like place to go to. Here is the steps to make it happen. You have to find those mentors. Who was a mentor that you had to help you with this book?
Um, I can name a lot of people. I got a friend in the automotive industry. He's a dealer and he's an author. Tracy Myers is one. I mean, I think about people like Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk and people that I haven't even met. I've met Grant a few times. We've actually spoken a couple of the same conferences back in the day. But for me, I just saw that a lot of people in my industry are writing books on their come up. And I wanted to write a book 6 years ago, and I remember writing a paragraph, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get to it." And finally, about a year and a half ago, I was traveling. Actually, it was even less than that. Yeah, probably about a year and a half ago. So what happened was last summer I got COVID, and for some reason, as soon as I recovered from COVID, I decided, you know what, I'm going to finally write this book. And I wrote like the first two chapters, and then I basically just let it sit there. And then 2 months later, in August, I was going to San Antonio and on a business trip. And for some odd reason, I decided on the plane to write most of the book. I almost completed the book on that whole trip. I remember flying back from San Antonio and I'm like texting him, like, my book is done. And I did it literally on my iPhone in my notes. I just kept typing what was on my mind. And so I finished it. And then finally, I gave it to my fiance, my wifey, to edit the book, and she did a really good job with it. She edits the book, and then I realized, man, I only wrote 54 pages. I'm like, this is not enough. So then I'm like, I have to go step it up. So then I started to add to my chapters. I added some more chapters. I got it to be a 97-page book, and then of course I had her proofread it, and I mean, we almost broke up doing this whole process. I mean, I love her; she's brilliant, but sometimes you need to have people that are outside your home life doing things for you because it becomes more of a personal thing. I mean, we got into some massive fights, but I mean, at the end of the day, she did a great job. And then I pushed the book out. We sold a few hundred copies. I gave away a bunch to a bunch of industry friends. It's out there. I use it more for clout. Um, I mean, it's really more of a book. It's part biography, but it's also more about, how to grow. Like, take every skill that you've ever done in life and make something out of it. I was a lifeguard for 7.5 years. I was a car salesman for a couple of years. I moved into management. I dealt with a lot of rejection in life. I wasn't picked for the A team. I had to choose the B team sometimes. I went broke twice. I've been sued before in business. I've had all these different things happen. And, a couple of years ago, I went broke completely. I had to start fresh and rebuild my business, suck it up, go back to work, have a side hustle, build everything back up, and then come back on top again. And then next thing you know, I got to fix my credit. And hey, you know what? Why not start a credit repair business? So I want to teach people and inspire people to take every life experience and turn it into something, whether it be a side hustle, whether it be a career. I just want to change people's mindset. At the end of the day, you could be anything you want to be as long as you're willing to try. And I don't know if it's the Eastern European mentality in me, but that's just how I've always operated. I always was able to figure it out.
Well said, man. It's important that you try different things. You are not going to just sit there and let things get a handout. Handouts are not just given. So everything that we do in this world, it's work. You got to put some work in. I'm excited. I got 350 subscribers for my YouTube channel. It takes some work. It's
Yeah.
not like you're going to just get there. I want to get to 1,000. I want to do of big things, but it's something that you have to start putting those goals and taking action. And I want
Yep.
to remind people that are watching, if you wrote a book, drop it in the comments. If you
Please.
want to be on here and discuss your book, please, please, please. Also, where are you watching from? Drop a comment where you're watching from, because I know a bunch of you are on. I want you to get out and don't just listen to us, engage us. If you agree with what we're saying, drop an emoji, etc. Now, with video, with speaking, with the automotive, what is how are you helping automotive brokers, management? How are you helping them right now?
So my business came off of, and I started it for the wrong reasons. I went to work for a training company in the industry. The guy that owned it was a friend of mine. Then we had some beef and went off on my own. And he sued me later on. But so I started it originally. I was 27 years old, and I just wanted to do things better than what they did. And so what I focus on is I focus on business development centers. So a lot of car dealerships have business development centers, internet sales departments. I'm sure anybody here that's tried to buy a car contacted a dealership and was forced to get a bunch of emails through a CRM and was forced to talk to somebody on the phone. So what I do is I actually build and train those departments. It's a multi-million-dollar department, which basically replaced what the billboard used to be, because people aren't just walking into car dealerships, they're shopping online. And so what I do is I train car dealerships how to talk on the phone, how to send the right text message, how to have the right flow of email templates, how to use their CRM. But I also start that from their marketing and advertising. Now, I'm very well connected in that industry, so I know all the big players. So I can walk into a dealership and assess their marketing budget. And I also do sales training because, in my opinion, there's a big disconnect between the business development center and the sales department. So not only do I train that department, but I also go and I train salespeople how to take over, the steps to the sale, how to be more efficient. And I also train managers on how to be more effective managers. Matter of fact, as we're doing this, I have to finish in the next 2 hours. I'm applying to speak for the NADA convention, which is like the mecca of conventions. It's the National Automobile Dealers Association convention, and very few, the elite, get to speak there. I've gotten turned down 4 times. I haven't applied in 4 years, but I came up with a topic, and today's the day that it's due. I came up with a topic about the 5 things that your dealership should do to evolve in today's times. So I'm hoping that they pick up on this topic, and so I'm actually excited about it because it's probably, for me, I feel like it's a level of maturity with what my business does. As far as what I'm able to talk about, I've talked about business development and internet sales for years. Now I'm actually talking about dealership operations. I ran stores, and I've been to great stores and I've been to not so great stores. So I have a lot of great ideas. And what I'm also trying to do is, and this is part of why I wrote the book, I want to start taking this to the next level. Not so much as focus on automotive. I want to focus on a lot of different businesses. If you're in the insurance business, in the mortgage business, the real estate business, I want to start getting booked to go speak at those conferences, as well as maybe get hired by a lot of the firms to come in and do a 4-hour seminar and train the people on how to sell. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do in automotive, I can literally duplicate that into other industries.
Well said. I like how you said the rejection. You just talked about that in your book, in your past, and you just have it recently with this convention that you applied 4 times and you kept getting knocked down, and now you continued with it. You have adversity, and now you're able to put something together and get in front of people now.
And here's the thing: if they turn me down again, I'm not even afraid. Like, okay, cool, turn me down. I actually am going to use this workshop. I'm going to teach it. I'm going to go into dealerships and teach it. I might speak on it in other conferences. I might do a webinar out of it, but it's going to be an opportunity for me to do something more in automotive, regardless if I get picked for this convention or not. At least I'm trying. That's really what it comes down to.
No, that's awesome. Now, I know who said it. I think it was, Scott Gerard. What drives you? What is motivating you to continue trying different things?
You only have one life to live, and life is short. I lost my dad 2 years ago. He was 62, and I lost my mom a few months ago, and she was 62. So, and they never truly got to enjoy life. They never truly got to do epic things. My dad was a mechanic. He worked for many years. He never had hobbies. He never got to go to concerts or do different things. He was just working. My mom pretty much gave up on life a couple years before she passed away. And I just realized that life is short. And I just keep telling myself every day, I'm not going to end up like them. Who knows? I'll be 39 next month, and I may have 10 more years left. They both passed at 62, so I don't know what my future brings. I probably have health issues that I don't see. Thank you. I see some comments.
Yep.
I probably have health issues that as long as I don't go find out about them, I'm living my life and I'm good. So I just keep pushing myself forward, and I just want to accomplish as much as I can. I want to write a few more books. I want to be on a lot more stages, and I just want to inspire people. And my goal is just to leave a legacy. That's really what it comes down to.
There's a lot of people engaging. We appreciate you, and thank you very much for being, forthcoming and giving us personal information. Because,
Sure.
guys, this is being real. We're being authentic with you. We're not just throwing things together or making sure that you gain some value from our conversation. So, I appreciate you sharing that.
Appreciate it.
It's something that I want to go into is the credit repair. That's something that I think anywhere in the world we have a problem with the people with the qualifying for loans, qualifying for even getting a phone. I think you have to have a credit score. What are some tips that we can share with those that are watching how to improve their scores?
So I love that. And just so you understand, when I started this, it was literally I had fixed my own credit, and somebody came to me with a multi-level marketing opportunity, and I signed up for the program, and I didn't like the way that program worked. So then I'm like, all right, I have the LLC. Let me try another program. Finally, after 3 trial and error programs, I found one that works. And really, it comes down to a couple different things. It comes down to maintaining your utilization under 30%. If you can keep it around 10, that's great. If you can manage your debt. Also, it's really important to make sure that you have a lot of longevity so that you have a lot of history. I always tell people if you're starting out, don't go and apply for those little $300 credit cards.
Yeah.
Find somebody that has really great credit. Pay them a few $100, let them put you on their account as an authorized user, get their history, then go out and get the big boy cards, as I like to call them. And just be able to build. You can do a lot of things really quickly. One thing that I was doing when I started this business was for a year almost, I was spending 30 minutes a day on YouTube watching different credit repair experts. I got to the point now where every time I get somebody calling me for credit repair, I have an intelligent 20-minute conversation, and I almost always sell them and pick up a client. It's actually a lot of fun.
It's all about learning things, trying different things. I'm into Beachbody.
Yep.
It's something that you're selling. I do my insurance business. I'm working with Webtalk. There's opportunities everywhere. I'm even getting involved with, if Rick is on here, with 7K with gold and silver. That's a huge, powerful platform as well. There's opportunities everywhere, but people want to sit back and say, I need money, ask other people for money instead of just putting their mind to. You could do things online now. I have Joanna here is a travel agent. She was a guest on a prior podcast. It's a powerful thing being a travel agent. You can do things anywhere in the world. And I know when you mentioned multi-level marketing, some people have bad taste in their mouth, network marketing, affiliate marketing, those things, everything in life, everyone has from the top, makes all the money usually, and it dwindles down. So it's all about you get paid for the value that you bring. And that's a powerful thing, that you don't just sit there and you want to get an hourly job. You want to make sure you're getting things, done, but you're also providing value.
Yeah, that's true. It is. The whole thing about hourly jobs, you start to see a lot of value. Like I go into a car dealership and I get a daily rate, right? It's a 4-figure rate to go in for a day and do my work. And when you realize, like, oh my God, make $1,000 or $2,000 a day in a store, it's like, oh my God, I can work for a week, a month, and I'm good. And then the next thing you know, credit repair, right? So somebody signs up for a credit repair service. I got a software that does everything. I can literally get people up and running in 15 minutes and get their letters mailed out and get everything done. And it's like, wow, I just made a few $100 for 15 minutes of work today. And maybe in 30 days, I do another 15 minutes. And it's like, all right, maybe I spent an hour, and it's like, oh, I made a couple $100. Like, you start to realize that your time is everything. and that you can really do so much more than just sit there and punch a clock.
And I want to definitely, and I have to, and I see your post on social media about what you're cooking, man. Yeah, you're very into steaks. You're into different
Yeah.
meals. What's your favorite dish that you like to cook?
I like steaks, and the thing is, I'm not like a traditional kind of cook. Like I don't like. I just made French toast for the first time ever in my life the other day. I don't actually make eggs very well, oddly enough. They don't always come out right. But I love cooking steaks. I just get creative. I'm a foodie, so having for many years, I used to live in studio apartments, didn't have many kitchens, so I would go out to eat a lot. So what would happen is I became a foodie, so I just get creative. Like I take a pork chop and I see some great seasoning like I made today. I made pork chops, Cajun and garlic seasoning, and the air fryer is the best thing in the world because anybody can be a great cook with that. And I use my air fryer more than anything. I don't remember the last time I used my oven. So I just get creative with ingredients.
Again, you gotta try. It
Yep.
goes with everything, for food, for business, for exercise, to get in
Yeah.
front of the camera, to public speaking. It's something that you have to just allow yourself to mess up. And I like to share. I always talk about that you want to start becoming comfortable being
Yes.
uncomfortable. When you're doing things that you normally don't normally want to do, you start doing it. Watch how it changes you.
Yes.
I can't be in front of the camera. Start doing it and watch what happens.
Yep. And
Network
what's
more.
funny?
Watch what
I
happens. Go
I'm
ahead.
at the point now too when people, I get people that I criticize. You know, I'll get some negative comments every now and then. I don't really care. I'm just like, okay, like, I'll read it and I'll dwell on it in my mind a little bit, but then I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like what do they say? They hate us because they ain't us, and that's really what it is. Just keep going. Someone, you know what it is. I'm not going. I can have 100 people in a room. I'm not going to make everybody happy. Everyone's gonna have their own beliefs. At the end of the day, if I'm trying to sell myself for, I got 100 people. If 10 of them like what I have to do, those are the ones that are going to pay the bills.
And it's important that you surround yourself with like-minded people. If you want to be a millionaire, you gotta have you have a couple friends that have to be millionaires so you can learn the traits that got them to that point. If you want to
Correct.
be a bum, circle your friends all bums. You'll never
Yeah,
become successful. It's very simple as that. But a lot of people don't realize who they're hanging out with and how those people are bringing them down.
exactly correct.
And I'm hoping that those that are watching, you're gaining value. Is there any final thoughts you can give us today on anything business related, marketing, social media, whatever you're thinking?
All right. So I would say, first and foremost, don't worry about how many likes or followers you're going to get. I spent a long time worrying about that. It's so funny. I'll put a business post and I'll get 3 likes. I'll put a picture of myself and my dog, I get 90 likes. And I were talking about this before we went live. My YouTube channel, I got like 125 subscribers. I've been focused on consistently putting out content every day to every other couple of days. And even today, I put an old video of me with a punching bag. It was a short, and I got over 95 likes on it already, or views. So I'm just like, I don't really care how many people like my stuff or how many people follow me at this point. I'm just putting it out there because what's interesting is even when people aren't pressing the like button or following you, you're still getting that message from somebody. I've been watching you grow over a couple of years. I just want you to know that it's not going unnoticed. Like I get messages like that sometimes. So just keep it going. You don't necessarily have to be the most famous person out there. I'm not trying to sit there and make $100 million. I don't even know what I would do with it. For me, it's just a journey of just doing what I can and trying to be above average. That's really what it comes down to.
No, I appreciate that. Yes, yes, yes. Putting content out there, really, you're looking to get help. I always say looking to help one person because that one person can change everything because you don't
True.
know who they know in their network. So it's a lot of people, oh, I'm going to record this. And this, here's some value. When I record, I never go back and watch it again. It's record, end, and I post, and I never watch it again. Why? Because if you go back, you're going to critique yourself. I should have said it differently. No, get the content out. As long as you have a
Mhm.
beginning, an opening, your content, whatever that topic is, and then closing. Boom, it's over. And it's like clockwork. You can get things done in a short period of time. Like you talked about early on, you did 100 videos, so you had content to spread out throughout the next number of weeks or months or even a year.
Mhm.
I can do 5 videos in 15 minutes. That's for my week. Well, how do
Yeah,
you do
what I
that?
do.
It's quick. You change your shirt. It's and
So, it's funny you mentioned that. I'll do that sometimes. I started in January, February. I'd be driving in the car. I was doing a big project with a dealership, and I was going there every day. And so I purchased a way to put my phone in my car, and I just started recording 9-10 minute videos, and I would do like 5 or 6 of them at a time. And I called them car sales confessions. So I think I'm up to like 13 or 14, and I probably have well over 20. And I basically talk about from the beginning how I got in the car industry, and I tell funny stories. How I had a stack of write-ups as big when I was a salesman, when I was getting in trouble as a kid, and I talk about different stories, how I moved from one dealership to another, why I left the dealership, and I try to make it into a 9-10 minute kind of like a dashboard confession kind of thing, and and I it's so funny because I go to my phone now and I got videos I haven't even uploaded yet. And I'll do the same thing sometimes. Like right here in front of me, I have 5 different shirts. So if I need to make videos, I will put on a different shirt and make a few videos with it, and then I'll just put it out there. I'm trying to do more than automotive, so I've been focusing a lot on automotive and buy here, pay here dealers, and really now
Mhm.
I'm going to start pushing more like my book. I want to push my book a lot more. I want to do more videos, reading little excerpts of my book to do like a 3-4 minute like thing talking about what that means to you. There's so much content out there, and I just want people to just immerse themselves with it and follow me if they can, and obviously buy the book if they want to buy the book. But I want people to be able to see this, read this even, and just say, hey, you know what? I like where his head's at. Let me see if I could bring him into my business, and have him speak, to our executives. What would that cost? That's really what my end goal is.
And it's going to happen because I'm going to have all of Stan's details in the description of this video on YouTube. I want everyone to check him out, friend request him on all those channels, check out his
Ooh,
book, purchase his book. Make sure you drop a couple comments after you read the book on this video so we can continue learning what you guys like, what you dislike. And, I'm here and I appreciate you,
like,
spending time today, dropping some massive value. And those that are tuning in now, you're going to have to wait until this uploads because get that beginning and don't just stop. Make sure you have to go back and replay everything so that you get all that value. So, Stan, thanks so much for being with us today. And
appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope everyone has, and no matter where you are in this world, an awesome day.
Yes, thank you guys.